is a wife, a mama. She's an ex 9 to 5er and a daughter of the king. She is a biblical brain-based mindset coach and a business strategist, and she helps struggling Christian women entrepreneurs in the beginning stages of their businesses stop duct taping it together. Through biblical and mindset strategies, Kristin helps you get the clarity you need on your calling and the next step to simplify the process using the power of one framework. Kristin believes that if you are a woman feeling called to this online space, you have a powerful message to share, and God has given you a mandate to do so. Stepping into that will allow you to advance your reach and authority in the online space and moving you into being the impactful Christian entrepreneur you were meant to be. We are so fortunate to have Kristin talking with us today about having the courage for impact. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You are welcome. Hi, can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. I think it's a great way to start when Sarah's saying goodbye to duct tape, because I think that is so true.
All right, welcome everyone. So thankful to be here. Once again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties because, yeah, that's how we roll sometimes. But thank you. My name is Kristin Dronchi. I am so thankful to be here. The speakers have been absolutely amazing. And I am so thrilled to be able to kind of pour into you a little bit about taking impact and how you can have the courage to take that step of faith to make that impact that you were created to make, whatever season you are in. If it's for a business or for a relationship, whatever that is, I want you to have the courage to take that step of faith. And as you're going through the rest of the speakers, and if you bought the VIP so you can have full access to the speakers, I want you to be aware of kind of two destructive thoughts that may pop up as you're going through and listening to this. They're the thought of like, I already know this, or I already heard this, or, maybe this won't work for me. Because whenever we feel that we already know something, our mind tends to disengage or shut down. I don't know if you have kids, you ladies have kids. I'm not going to pay attention to the chat right now because I'll be all over the place. But, think of a time when you ask your kids something, they say, I already know, mom. And then they're just walking away and they already stop listening, right? Because their brain shuts down. So the next time you hear yourself thinking or saying, I already know this, or I heard this, immediately catch yourself and kind of flip that script to, what can I learn from this? What's something new I can learn from this? Because you may hear of a new angle or concept that you may have never even heard before. Or you may become aware of something that you thought you already knew, but you're not actually taking action on that. Because knowing something is very different from actually doing something consistently and mastering it. My coach said one time when I'm like, I already know that. And he's like, really? Do you, Kristin? Because are your actions lining up with what you already know? Because think about this, we can read a book that teaches us how to swim, how to breathe, and all of the strokes, but until we actually get in the water and do the thing, swim, we really don't know how to swim, right? So knowing and having a knowledge is important, but that's not the power. Execution and taking action on the knowledge is power, and execution trumps knowledge every single day. So think of that as you're going through this, because you are actually created to do some pretty amazing things in this world. Let me get back to my screen for you so I can advance. I'm not quite sure why it's not letting me advance now. Let's see. All right. Is it letting you advance? Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's making me advance. So just tell me next slide and I'll push it along.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So you were created to do some pretty amazing things. You have unlimited potential, right? And I want to see in the chat, do you believe you have unlimited potential? Because as human beings, we were created to do some pretty amazing things. And if you agree, drop an emoji in the comments. Now, we have great potential. I know that you know that, but Do our actions and the results of those actions always reflect that amazing potential we have? Chances are, most of the time, they don't. And the results of our actions don't reflect and line up with the ultimate potential we have, or the actions that we're taking. And you kind of already know why from listening to the other speakers today, but we're going to dig into that a little bit more today. So you have that courage to take that step of faith and make the impact you want to make. So why aren't our results that we have in our lives match the amazing potential that we are created to have? And more times than not, it's the limiting beliefs that we hold on to, stories that we tell ourselves of why we can't do something, why we can't be something. And it's all rooted in our subconscious beliefs. And if you want to go to the next slide, Janine, that would be perfect, because it all starts with our beliefs and our mindset. It looks like it's advancing just slowly. Is it going for you guys? Well, we'll just keep going. There we go. It looks like I can do it now. Okay. So it all comes down to your beliefs, because it's human nature to take massive action towards a goal. But we're only going to take that step of faith if we believe we're going to get the desired results we want, right? If we don't believe we're going to get the desired results, either consciously or subconsciously, we tend to self-sabotage our own efforts. And we're not going to go 100% in, and we're not going to take 100% action. So when we have a really small belief that we might be able to get the results that we want, or we have beliefs that don't serve us and we end up self-sabotaging, we end up taking little action towards a goal that we create. And that little action, because we really don't believe we can achieve it, or have sabotaging thoughts that are rooted in our subconscious, we're going to take little results and get little action. So those little results create even more uncertainty and lack of belief, because we tell ourselves, see, I knew that wouldn't work, or I didn't reach that goal again. How many of you have set the same goal month after month after month trying to achieve it, and you just aren't getting anywhere, and you're asking yourself, what's wrong with me, right? Or what's stopping me? What's keeping me stuck? And there's nothing wrong with you. It's you have thoughts and beliefs rooted in your subconscious that aren't serving you. And when they're not serving you, you have that little lack of belief. You take small action, hoping to get big results. And that's not what's going to happen. Because if you don't believe you have a ton of potential, and your thoughts aren't lining up with what you believe, you're not going to take those massive results and get that action that you want. So in order to solve a problem, to achieve a dream, reach a goal, change that level of belief, it starts with changing the belief first. Okay, let's see if I can move this slide forward. All right. And Tony Robbins says that beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have amazing ability to take any experience in their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them, or one that literally can transform them and save their lives. And that's what I want to do for you in these next few minutes, is create beliefs that actually can transform and help you reach your goal. Because you have goals that you continue to create, or maybe you just don't reach them and you don't see the results that you want, that unlimited potential that you have, because your foot is on the brake. So what is keeping your foot on the brake from reaching your maximum potential and the potential that you have as human beings? And when I work with my clients, we start with their calling. And I like to say you have a calling in the form of a mandate, which we're not going to get into today. But whatever season of life you're in, you were created to do something in that season. You have goals, you have dreams, whether it's relationships or business or family or money goals, whatever that is. And if you're not reaching those goals and operating at your unlimited potential, we have to figure out why you aren't, so you can have that courage to create and make the impact that you want to make. go to that next slide a second here. I'll have to remember to hit that button a little bit sooner. So why are we stuck? Why aren't you operating in what you want to operate? Whether it's a dream, a goal that you have, whatever that looks like for you. And really the reason why is because I like to call them mandate or calling blockers. We have mandate or calling blockers that are actually hindering us from reaching the goals that we want to reach. And I'm going to go through these really quickly. Definitely take a screenshot of it or whatever that is that you want to do. But we have calling blockers that come in these 4 areas: your inner critic, the world, fear, or just having a wrong focus. And your inner critic is the lies and stories that you tell yourselves, or maybe the enemy's whispering of why you can't, why you shouldn't, or who you couldn't become, who God created you to be, or the universe created you to be, whatever it is for you. For me, it's God. But that inner critic comes from, past traumas, the lies of others, inner dialogue, low confidence. And as you're going through these, think of what we all have, some that fall into different categories, but what stands out to you the most that you might have to work on. The next calling blocker or goal blocker that hinders you from, taking that courage and making that impact you want to create and reach that goal is the world. Because from an early age, the world tries to tell us what we should be and what we should do, whether it's our parents, our family members, and no fault of their own. They only knew what they knew at that time, right? But our teachers, institutions were indoctrinated to believe and think certain things. And I'll give you an example of mine. Mine's really of the world was that my parents told me I needed to go to school to get good grades and get a good job, and then go to college and get good grades and get a good job that pays the bills, right? So that was what I was told I needed to do from an early age and who I needed to be. And fast forward, I was at a 9-to-5 that was draining me because it didn't align with who God created me to be. So I was able to rewire that thought and really dig in through with personal development and hiring a coach and how to use the gifts and talents and abilities and life experiences that I have to extract and do something with that. The same thing with where you want to go with reaching whatever goal you have. It's either the inner critic or the world that could be holding you back and the things of that, or fear. And like I said, it could be all of these things all together, certain things. But fear is like our inner fears about what people will think, fear of judgment, fear of loss of something. Sometimes you don't think of that. Fear of losing money or fear of success, fear of failure, fear of judgment. Those are rooted in our subconscious things that hold us back, or having a wrong focus on certain things. I teach my clients, to have an inward focus, because what you want to create, the goals that you want to reach, that blueprint and map is already inside of you. You already have everything inside of you to be successful. But they're looking at all these things in the world of all these other successful entrepreneurs, and they're doing it this way. Maybe I should do it this way. There's distractions or shiny object syndrome. Or, like Janine mentioned, the quick fixes of duct taping your business together instead of hiring someone and locking arms with someone who can help get you there faster because they've already been where you want to go. So having that wrong focus instead of looking inward on how you can reach the goals, because the map and success is already inside of you. And sometimes you need to lock arms with someone that can show you the blind spots, because we're too close to ourselves to realize what's going on. We're focusing on everyone else and what everyone else is doing around us instead of really what's inside of us, and then looking upward to the one who created you. So these are really the 4 categories, and inner the categories. When I work with someone, we really dig into what in those categories are holding you back from creating and stepping into the impact and reaching the goals that you want to create. Because like I said in the beginning, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the subconscious beliefs and thoughts rooted in your subconscious, along with merged in with these 4 calling blockers that are keeping your foot on the brake so you can't move forward, or you continually set the same goal month after month, year after year. So how do we get our foot off the brake, right? How do we move forward so we can take that action that we want to take, like I mentioned in the beginning, because you have unlimited potential. So how do you move forward to rewire your brain to actually create the belief that lines up with your goal you want to create? Because if you're like you've heard from other speakers, your brain is wired to keep you safe. So it's going to resist new things. So when you're trying to reach a goal, which is probably something new, it's pushing you outside of your comfort zone, it's new. Your brain is wired to keep you safe. So it's going to elicit a response that you interpret as fear, or you interpret as overwhelm, or you interpret it as something scary, a stop. But that's just your brain doing what it's supposed to do because it's wired to keep you safe. So if you can understand that and rewire your brain and set beliefs, and we're going to show you how in a second here, but have your goals and a vision map and beliefs that align with your subconscious, so your brain actually can start seeing the results you want to create, then you're going to be able to take your foot off the brake and start moving forward. All right. These slides hopefully advance a little bit quicker for you, but I got to remember to hit the button a little bit sooner. So this is what I like to call, and I did not create this, a restoration and reframing formula. I'm going to quickly go through this, and you can, this is to uncover your truth. Like I said, uncover God's truth for my life and my client's life, but insert whatever word that for you that you want in there. But this is Dr. Shannon Irvine, is a well-known mindset strategist, and she actually created this restoration formula. And then my coach, who is rooted in, biblical truth, put her little step in there. So you can use that step, you can take it out, whatever you want to do. But this is the process that you can go through with really anything in your life, any goal, any thought that doesn't serve you, to help rewiring your brain so that you can create thoughts and beliefs that align with the goals and the truth that you want to achieve in your life. So the first thing is to recognize it. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these steps, but recognize the thought that doesn't serve you. Recognize that limiting belief. You have to slow down in order to be able to speed up. So slow down, become aware of the thoughts that aren't serving you, that don't align with where you want to go. Recognize it, and then record it. Write them down. Write them down, the exact words that you hear yourself saying it. Write them down in the exact words that you hear yourself thinking it, and then write your feelings and emotions down around that, because there's something happens when you can put that to paper. And then for those of you who are faith-filled women, repent. Ask the Lord for forgiveness for believing a lie, because you're believing something that doesn't align with who He created you to be. And then say, I give you the lie, give me the truth, please. The next step is to refute it. And basically that is a reframing technique where you think of someone that you love. Here's an example. Think of someone that you love the most, a daughter or a son, and maybe you're believing a lie that you're just not qualified. Who am I to be able to be teaching women how to renew their minds based on biblical truth, and teaching them how to create an online business so that they can make impact and income? Who am I to be doing this? I don't have a business degree. So I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. But imagine, your daughter or someone that you love the most coming to you and you telling her that. So my daughter, Allie, love her more than anything. Allie, you're just not qualified. You're not good enough. You're not going to be good enough to be a music teacher. You don't have what it takes. Could you imagine yourself telling the person that you love the most that lie, that thought, that belief that doesn't serve you, putting that on them, reframing it and putting that on them? Would you do that? No. And if you did, what would happen? They would probably give you every reason why and how to defend themselves, right? That's not true. This, and this. And you can do the same thing with yourself. Think of that person you love telling you that. Mom, you're just not good enough. You're not qualified. You don't have what it takes, blah, 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 blah. What would you be doing and saying and thinking? You'd be like, that's not true. I have this, this, and this. So you would be defending yourself. So refuting, write down, defend yourself, everything that you would be saying to defend yourself on why you are qualified, why you do have what it takes. And then you want to renew your thoughts and line them up with thoughts that serve you. Where do you want to go? What belief do you want to have? This is the most important part. You need to take that belief that's not serving you, that thought, and then line it up and create a thought that serves you. So make sure you took a screenshot of this, because this is a process that you can use with anything in your life. And then once you renew your mind, create a thought that serves you. I teach my clients to create God statements. So we create and go through and create God statements. What does scripture say about who your identity is related to this thought that doesn't serve you? And then you can also create, which is another way of saying it, a new belief, or with I am statements. So this is an example of my belief I had. I needed to have a degree in order to be successful. So this is a process you can actually go through with yourself, is write down those old beliefs, those thoughts that aren't serving you, that aren't helping you reach that goal that you want to reach. And you need to create a thought and a belief that aligns with where you want to go. So here is an example of mine. Like I explained in the beginning, what my parents told me. I needed to go to college to be successful. I need to make money in order to be stable and safe and have a degree to be successful. But what God says, and my belief that flipped it, is with this business that I created, is I'm equipped with unique gifts, talents, and abilities. I can use these gifts God gave me for his glory and for the calling he has in my life. And money doesn't keep me safe. Money is not going to keep me stable. Money is not going to make me be successful. That lies in my identity and who I am in Christ. So basically what this example gave you is just take that old belief and create a powerful, positive I am statement from that, and start using it to reframe and rewire your brain and creating a new identity. And then here is a very, very important part, because remember at the beginning, you can have all this knowledge, but you need to take action, and you actually need to do something with it, because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what you imagine or make up, true or false, real or fake. It only knows what you tell it in the form of a belief. So creating a vision map is super, super powerful. And a vision map basically is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? It is creating a scenario in which the goal that you want to reach is already accomplished. It's past tense, it's done. And you want to be writing this out and use as much imagination and detail as possible, and include all of your senses. What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you seeing? What's happened? What does this make possible for you now once you reach your goal? What does it make possible for your family or your clients? What are you not doing anymore that you were doing before? How are you spending, saving, thinking about money, thinking about time, that same thing? What do you have now, or what do you not have now because of the success in reaching this goal? And who did you need to be in order to reach this goal? And then create a vision map as already done in past tense. And then the most important part, like I said, taking action on this is going to help rewire your brain and grow new neural pathways. So use your phone or grab a free affirmation app that you can download and record your vision map into it. Keep it short, 5 minutes or less. listen to it every day, every morning, and do it for at least 67 days. It takes 67 days to rewire a thought that doesn't serve you, which is called a neural pathway, and create a new neural pathway, create a new thought, a new belief that's going to align with where you want to go. Because in a sense, you're tricking your brain, you're tricking your subconscious, you're making it believe that it's already done. So it's going to start allowing you to show up and do the things you need to do in order to reach that goal, so you can show up in courage and confidence to make that impact that you want to make. So with that being said, I think, yep, I'm on my last slide. Is there any questions? I can look at the questions in the chat now. Any questions? Anything you want me to reiterate?
Kristin, thank you. That was amazing. I had no idea it took 67 days to actually get a new process.
Yeah. And then a lot of times I get asked, well, what happens if I stop? Or what happens if, it's only not going to work if you don't do the process. But if you're 3 weeks in and you don't do it for a day or two, you're going to need to start over.
Oh, no.
So make sure you're consistent. But if it just kind of depends where you're at. But I would say if you're 3 weeks in and you miss a day or two, you're going to definitely want to start over.
So that's so important to set like a timer or something to make sure that you're not missing anything.
Yeah. A reminder, something like that. Yes. I can't see you, Janine, so sorry.
No worries. I'd love to I love this question. I just put it above. They're wondering, where can they find you after today? I just put all the links in the chat, but feel free to share.
Yeah, exactly. Where Janine put those links is where you can find me. Instagram, Facebook, by my name. I do have a podcast, Faith and Business Podcast as well.
I think that's a great question, because you guys are such great resources in this room, and we get so much information, and we don't realize how many questions we actually have until, like you said, how important it is to actually get out and doing it. Like, it's one thing to know all the things, but it's totally different once you put it into practice.
Yes.
Oh, I just have the links above. They said, where are those links? If you're having troubles finding it, send me a private message and I can get that to you after this call. Awesome.
Oh, wow. My camera just magically became blurry. So if it was blurry for you ladies, I apologize.
I don't find it was too bad on this end. So thank you. Yeah, it seems you did a really clear presentation when there's not a lot of questions, because you've answered all of the questions along the way.
No worries. I hope so. This is a small presentation of a larger one that I do. So if you're interested in the couple hour one, I think there's a link for those that purchase the VIP, the upgrade. You can definitely get involved in that as well.
Yeah. Kristin has contributed the Courage for Impact Live workshop in the bundle, which is incredible. Do you want to tell them a little about that? We have a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's just going to extend more on what we covered today. If you are a faith-filled, kingdom businesswoman in the world today who is at the beginning stages of creating, building, and launching your online business, and I say by God's design, because it is so important to be in alignment with your assignment. So if that is something that resonates with you, on really digging more into those calling blockers, and I go into a lot more about what your mandate is and things like that, then definitely grab that bundle so you can participate in that workshop. But yeah, we just go into a lot more detail on really what's holding you back and what's going to hold you back, because each step there's going to be another limiting belief or something else that pops up that doesn't serve you, that doesn't align with where you want to go.
Yeah, because personal growth does not have an end date. There is never an end date, and that's where they get you.
Yeah. Darn it.
I know, you always want that magic fix, but there isn't. It takes work, it takes consistency to actually start creating those new paths and those new ways of moving forward. Um, in the
Yeah.
workshop that Kristin's putting on, it's usually $297, and she's added it to this bundle today, and the bundle's $57. So I will say, definitely grab it. It's crazy valuable. It's only going to be $57 today. And when I say it's Kristin's, it's Cindy's, it's Sarah's, it's Melissa's, it's mine, it's all of our stuff for that amount.
Yeah, you had such amazing speakers, and it's so great to see how everything just flowed together with similar concepts, but on different aspects of the life. And yeah, this has been phenomenal. Great summit you put together.
Thank you. And I know nobody knows behind the scenes, but my speakers sure know. This only started coming together a week and a half ago, not even. And like, I could tell it was meant to come together. I had the idea, and then all of a sudden, these great speakers were like, yes, yes, yes. And so it just shows getting into that limitless mindset is really what helps you get where you are today.
Yes, definitely.
So I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, Kristin, and sharing your passion, your knowledge with everybody who hopped on.
Yeah, you are so welcome. And I look forward to hearing from you in this next session. So have an amazing day, everyone. And I look forward to connecting with those that are looking to connect with me further. So thank you, Janine.
Thank you.